21-yard line. And that was Bradley Chubb. Chubb, his 4th sack of the season, 2nd sack of the game.
And the Colts sweep it left side. Jeffy with the Naeem Hines. He's in there. He waltzes in from 6 yards away. Touchdown, Naeem Hines. And the Colts finally get their touchdown. It is 15-7.
Long count. Gets the snap. He's back. Fires for the end zone. Touchdown, Chase Claypool. Wow.
Run back Jeff Wilson Jr. Hill comes forward. Toss sweep to Wilson. Cut back run. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown!
Corey Nando and Friends, presented by Mayo Media.
Yeah, everybody. Welcome to our show. Corey Nando and Friends, presented by Mayo Media Network. Corey Parson, the fantasy executive. I'm Nando Nafino. Shout out to the Broncos, Colts, 49ers, and Steelers Radio Network for the dulcet tones of Bradley Chubb, Naeem Hines, Jeff Wilson, and Chase Claypool. We were live during yesterday's trade deadline, so we hit up a lot of the analysis live, I think, Corey. We did all right. We did a pretty good job, I thought.
We did a decent job following along, going along with everything. What's up, everybody? Shout out to everybody rocking and rolling us today. Glad to have you here joining Corey Nando and Friends. We went through it pretty good. We can circle back and talk about a couple things today. Not really much going on as far as off the field, well, on the field stuff. You know, obviously you got a couple of big stories outside of what's going on the field. But, yeah, I think we did a pretty good job with that, waiver wire, all of that stuff, Nando. So I feel pretty solid about where we're at. We get to actually talk a little college basketball today. And speaking of college, shout out to Ball State. If you played that money line last night, that you was able to cash that one. Shout out to my man Thor for setting that up for us. So good job out of Thor cashing that plus 217 money line last night.
Today we're going to talk to Mike Holland, like you alluded to, from Green Screens Media. He writes over drroto.com. Pat Mayo, our youthful benefactor, will be joining us 4 o'clock in about an hour. Most added drop we'll probably get into. I think the big story, look, the big story is the Commanders might be sold. The big story, I think, to me, is Jonathan Taylor aggravating an ankle injury. That's not, every time you hear aggravation, you're like, that's another 2 weeks. You and I are disciples of Virginia Zakis. That's like another 2 weeks, right? Like, that's not like, aggravation is not something that you're like, oh, okay, he'll be fine tomorrow.
I was going through running my waiver wire stuff the other night, right? And I had one of the teams that I had Deion Jackson on. I was getting ready to cut him. And I was like, you know what? I better hang on to Deion Jackson just in case. And so far, that is turned out to be the case. So once again, another possible running back savior. Indianapolis Colts do have a big matchup this weekend going up against the New England Patriots. Big AFC matchup. A team is trying to stay in the race. New England's a big favorite in that one, but I do have some information on that game to share a little bit later on.
Oh, I'd like to hear that. Yeah, Deion Jackson, by the way, rostered in 40% of CBS leagues. How about that? That's still pretty good. That's gettable. Yeah. That's gettable tonight.
Yeah, he's gettable. He's gettable. Yeah. E said, how many teams you got, E? My goodness. I got Hines. Should I drop him to get Jackson? Then you'll drop Jackson, pick up Hines. What's going on, bro?
Hey, man, he's aggressive. We like that. We applaud that.
What is your record? E, what is your record?
I'm going to guess.
For your main league.
1-4-4, 1-2-6, 1-5-3.
Okay. 6-2. So you're rolling.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
I understand.
We've been helping him.
That's because of us, 100%.
There's a 3-5.
That was not on us.
I was close.
4-4.
Not bad.
Not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all.
I mean, there are only so many numbers you can pick when they total 8.
Yeah.
As a craps player knows. Yeah. We'll get into most added and drop. I'm sure, look, I wonder if someone out there is going to be like, hey, Zach Moss maybe is worth it. I don't know. Like, that would be the weird, terrible Colts thing to do, is to give Zach Moss 13 carries.
I mean, they went out there and got him. Obviously, it's a reason to have him on the team. He doesn't fit what they're trying to do in New England. He doesn't fit what they were trying to do with the Buffalo Bills, so maybe he'll fit a little bit better in this situation. I remember him running for the University of Utah. He's a good, strong, powerful runner, but I'm like, I don't like the way that he has looked recently.
I don't know, man. Like it's the cyclical thing where everyone loves him and then everyone abandons him and they pretend like they, especially fantasy Twitter, fantasy TikTok.
Oh God.
Oh, Zach Moss is the next. Zach Moss is going to overtake Devin Singletary.
It's fantasy TikTok better than fantasy Twitter because fantasy Twitter is a wasteland of tape watchers, fake tape watchers, guys who give you 2 sides on every player, fake tape watchers, fake prognosticators, fake woke dudes. You know what I'm saying? It's like fantasy Twitter is a wasteland.
I hate fantasy Twitter. I don't know enough about fantasy TikTok yet. I've seen some shared over to Instagram and Twitter, but I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It seems a little less insufferable, I guess, because
so.
it's got to be shorter.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it's like enough. Like, look, I like people I like, right? I like Geno Smith for a few years. I'll go down with any ship, that you want me to go down with. But I'm going to stay consistent at least. I trust my research.
Yeah. No, we've been doing it for as long as we have. We got plenty of stuff out there. Not everything hits like Antonio Brown hit.
Right.
Isaiah Crowell was a big prognosticator. Sammy Watkins, I've always been a Sammy Watkins supporter.
Yeah.
Obviously, Mac Jones is not living up to expectations this year. But I'm going to continue to have strong opinions. I'm going to continue to put it out there. And I would agree that they would hit more times than not.
That's why, because like Kenny Galladay, I think that's the ship that I'm trying to have a billion holes punched into. I don't know what happened there, man. Like it's not like he's 34 and he fell off a cliff. That's still like befuddling to me. So he didn't get traded. I don't know. Man. Remember how good Kenny Galladay was? He was amazing.
We made a song about him.
He was Babytron.
He scored. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was mini mega or whatever we was calling him. And now he's just out there, a wanderer.
I don't know, man. I mean, like, fine, he got paid. I guess Jared saying
I would blame the Giants more than I blame Galladay.
Yeah, me too. Let's blame the Giants for everything.
Why not?
Giants. So guess what your boy did today?
Who's that?
Well, first of all, I got a bunch of this in the mail. I can open these up a little later on. I don't know what's in here. So, I mean, I know what could be in here. I don't know specifically. Like, this feels like a graded card.
Okay.
These two seem like just a couple $3 shots.
Okay.
Basically. I don't know where they're coming from, California. Anyway, whatever. We'll figure it out.
I still got to get some. I got to get some, some stuff too.
I did this. I went to the store. I got the Powerballs for everybody here.
All right, that's what's up. Thanks.
What you see right there, those are the Yankees that I went with.
Okay.
I went with. So here's how you play Powerball, by the way. Powerball is you do 5 numbers, and then there's one Powerball which goes up to I think 28. So I went in the line. They're out of the things you fill out yourself.
Okay.
And so I asked the guy, I'm like, can I just dictate the numbers? He said, yeah, okay. I'm like, all right. So line starting to form behind me. I only had 5. She's like, how many do you want? I'm like, 5. Yeah, she's like, annuity or lump sum? I'm like, I don't know. Let's go lump sum. Cop comes up behind me. He's got like 2 things of flowers. And I'm like, why don't you just go ahead of me? This might be a while. He said, no, I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, all right, cool. So I pull them out. And I did one, my kids' birthdays and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Then I did the Yankees one. So Yankees one, I did 2. I ended up with 2 for Jeter. I did 7 for Mickey Mantle. I did 8 for Yogi Berra.
Okay.
I did 23 for Don Mattingly. I did 42 for Rivera. And for the Powerball, I did 3 for all the Babe Ruth non-truthers out there. I thought that was a significant Powerball for us.
I think with the Powerball is like I agree with Powerball being Babe Ruth because, first of all, it fits the number specification, number 1. And number 2, if you think you're going to win Powerball, you probably believe Babe Ruth is real.
There you go. See?
There you go. So it's a good idea.
Me and a cop, we believe. So I did the Jaguars, which I wrote the numbers down but didn't write what they were for, so I don't know what these are anymore. I got to get so 28 is Fred Taylor's jersey.
Fred Taylor is 28. I know Fred Taylor some kind of way. I don't know how. I got to look at his Wikipedia page and figure out how I know Fred Taylor, how I'm connected to Fred Taylor.
32 is MJD.
Okay.
8 was Mark Brunell.
Okay.
20 is Jalen Ramsey.
Right.
And then I ran out of Jaguars that I know. So I put
I was going to say
Jimmy Bortles, man.
Jimmy Smith.
I wasn't really into Jimmy Smith. Didn't feel right.
Keenan McCardell.
I wasn't really into him much either. Wasn't he more of a Charger?
I would say Keenan McCardell was more of a Jacksonville Jaguar.
Yeah, Tony Baselli, but his number would have been too high.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I put 2 because they have 2 pools in the stadium,
Okay.
and 50 because that's the year Shad Khan was born.
Okay. Got
That
it.
was my
I can do that.
Jaguars ticket.
Why did you go down the Jaguar path though?
I thought it'd be ridiculous, and I wanted
Okay.
to challenge myself. The Yankees and the Jaguars. So those are the 2 that I did. The rest I was gonna. The rest were just like my parents' birthdays and stuff because I'm a sap.
All right. Well, let's go.
But yeah, so I figured we could do a little exercise. I mean, let's do. Want to do DC Baltimore? That was your idea. I thought it was.
Well,
good.
I think we should let's wait on DC Baltimore.
All right.
Like, we got to talk about that Washington franchise.
Yes, we do.
At some point, and then we'll tie it in after that. So this is when we do the stuff that should be done off air. We're doing it on air.
That's what people like.
Yeah, people like to look behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Let's do New York basketball team, the Knicks, not the Nets. I got a little more of that net information last night.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jesus! It's a disaster. They have to do something. They have to fine or suspend Kyrie Irving or something at some point. You know what I'm saying?
I think so.
Yeah. So
that seems like the right.
That's probably going that way. The thing about it is it's dangerous because Kyrie Irving might just be like, okay, I'm not gonna play no more. I think he's that stubborn of a dude. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. But it's Kyrie need to he got to do a better job with himself. But anyway, let's do the New York Knickerbockers.
All right. I only know 2. When I figured this out, I had John Starks and Patrick Ewing.
So John Starks is number 2, right?
He was come on, Corey was 3.
3. I'm not good with numbers now, though. So John Starks was 3.
And Ewing 33. We don't have to put him in there. I'm just offering the only 2 that
No, I think John Starks goes.
All right.
John Starks 3, Ewing 33. Now, do we go Bernard King?
For Scott Angle, I think we should. I think it'd be wrong if we didn't.
I think we got to go Bernard King.
All right.
Right? And what's Bernard King? Huh?
I'm guessing. I think he's 42.
Where's Jalen at? My goodness.
Yeah, come on, Jalen.
Jalen, what is you know what I'm talking about. What is Bernard King? Bernard the King.
Bernard King was 30 according to Adam.
Hey, Nick, we're not doing Porzingis. We're not doing Porzingis.
Oh, I like the Amari. I like the
We're
17 for Lynn.
We're not doing
Nick's on fire. This is great.
We got a lot of threes right now because we got Bernard King at 30. So we got to get out the threes, right? So now, where do we go? Do we go Mark Jackson?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, this is you're more of a Knicks guy. I feel like Mark Jackson, like for those, when they say like the backup quarterback is the most popular guy on the team, like Mark Jackson for like those 3 years and everyone wanted him to coach the Knicks, was like the most popular guy in New York. And then he just kind of faded away.
Yeah. Okay. Clyde. We got to do Clyde Frazier. Swishing and dishing. Hooping and scooping. Power balling and power balling. Or whatever he would rhyme with that. Clyde is 10. How many more we got?
So we got 3, 10, 30, and 33. One more number and then pick a Powerball. Those, I guess, two numbers. And I guess the Powerball can also be a number you've already picked. So like we can do Starks and then we can do a 3 as a Powerball if we like. I think this is why there haven't been many winners yet.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I feel like we forgetting somebody.
A New York Knick?
We got Clyde. Should we go Allen Houston? I think we got to go Allen Houston.
I love Allen. He was 20. I know that.
Yeah.
That was my Knicks fandom
days. The Knicks is it's not like you can say, oh, well, this guy won a championship.
Right.
Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody ever won nothing. You know what I'm saying? Not nobody that I've seen play. So
like, what's the number for Billy Joel's most consecutive concerts?
Yeah, exactly. That would be if you want Madison Square Garden stuff. You got to go to Rangers or you got to go 94, and then you go with Mark Messier, 55. I don't know. So we got 3, 33, 30 with Mark Jackson, 10 with Clyde Frazier, 20 with Allen Houston.
Yep.
And I think we go 7 for Carmelo Anthony.
Wow, that's all right. Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Is it the Powerball?
Carmelo Anthony is the Powerball. Lala said when they moved to New York, that's when their marriage fell apart.
That's sad.
Yeah, they said that's when Carmelo started stepping out. That's what she said. You know what I'm saying?
That's not the official story, I assume.
It's not. That's what she said. You know, it's her side, it's his side, and it's the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So there
Those
you go.
3 sides to every
There's
story.
3 sides to every story.
Do you want to try and play significant? Is there a significant South Carolina State set of numbers that we could do? Like, what year was it founded? What's the big fraternity there? Like, I know there's like 1914, 1918. We can play some of those.
Do SC State, right? We got to go with the 4 Hall of Famers, right out the gate, right? So we would go. Oh
wait, how much was that blanket?
That blanket was triple.
That's triple figures. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got to go. Let's start out with Harry Carson, right?
All right.
So I guess we can use Harry Carson's number as the Giants. Somebody can look that up.
Let me do this. Yeah, look up Harry Carson.
Oh, now niggas like nothing for the captain who won 2 titles, Willis Reed. No, because I didn't see those championships. Harry Carson was 53.
He was 53. It looks like he was 75 at South Carolina State.
Oh, okay. That's even
that's
better.
Too high, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's too high. You're right. Is 53 too high as well?
No, 53 I think works.
All right, 53 for Harry Carson.
All right.
And then Deacon Jones, right? So we got to get Deacon Jones in there. Deacon Jones is it's scary to say his name. You know what I'm saying? Like his name, just saying his name is kind of intimidating. Like Deacon Jones, like, oh, we got to go over there and see Deacon Jones. You know what I'm saying? Like
Deacon Jones was 75. So maybe we could add that up and make it 12 if you'd like to do the 7 and the 5.
That's not a bad idea.
That powerballs us.
We'll go 12 for Deacon Jones.
All right.
So Marion Mott. I don't know nothing about Marion Mott, but he is also a South Carolina State Hall of Famer.
Marion Mott. There's some weird stuff. MarionMott, right?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, that's Marion Mott.
Marion Mott, Jersey. Just showing up a bunch of people named Marion Mott who live in New Jersey. Hold on. Marion Mott. I don't know, man.
Wait a minute. Is his name Marion Mott?
I don't think it is.
Marion Motley?
That could be it. Okay, Marion Motley. M-O-T-T-L-E-Y. Marion Mott. M-O-T-L-E-Y. Got it.
South Carolina State University. His number was 46.
We got that. 46. Nice.
So we got 46. Marion Mott, 46.
Marion Motley.
Motley, excuse me. And then Donnie Shell from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Donnie Shell wore number.
Donnie Shell was 31, it looks like.
All right, so Donnie Shell was 31.
That's a nice number too, man. These are nice numbers.
Yeah, 53, 12, 46, 31. And we need how many more?
We need 2 more.
So we're going to go 3 for Smith, Hammond, Middleton. That's the Orangeburg Massacre.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. I hate to bring the mood down. 3 young men killed on campus. Way before.
You kind of do this once a day. You bring something up. Really, really depressing. And it's kind of like, hey, what did you have for lunch today?
Orangeburg Massacre, Smith, Hammond, Middleton. So the Orangeburg 3. It's actually a movie on them, a documentary. And then it ain't no baseball team. It's no basketball team. But you know who used to play? You know who? All right, so here's the deal is what we can do basketball, right?
Okay.
We can go Roderick Blakeney, but nobody knows Roderick Blakeney, right?
But that'll be our advantage.
True. We can go Darius. We can go Shaquille Leonard.
Okay.
Right?
This is up to you, man. This is you are Mr. South Carolina State as far as I'm concerned.
Not when I was
SC State school founded. Maybe it was founded in a year we could play.
I don't know. What year was that? Probably 18.
March 4th, 1896.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably not.
Yeah, probably not 1896.
A little too high.
Shaquille Leonard is 52. But so JoJo English? No,
52 fits. Let's go with your gut, man. You gotta
go 52. Go 52.
Right, 52. So the Powerball. Let's just make 3 the Powerball, or we can do 12 as the Powerball.
We'll make 3 the Powerballs. That's for Smith, Hammond, Middleton.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. There's a nice South Carolina State Powerball ticket.
I might play this. All right, so there's that. Who else should we do?
I don't know. We got anyone out there have any requests? We would love to.
You want to do Syracuse?
Syracuse? Yeah, we do Syracuse.
Let's do Syracuse.
All right, let's do Syracuse.
Well, you know we start with Syracuse.
You got to start with 44.
Who's 44?
Everybody. Jim Brown, Ernie Davis, Floyd Little, Rob Conrad.
44, yeah. Because now Jim Brown. Is Derek Owens? Derek Coleman.
Billy Owens was number 30, if you want to do Billy Owens. That was our...
So, all right, so wait a minute. 44 is just a legendary number on... But it's got to be Earl the Pearl, right?
He was 21.
So
yeah,
Earl
so I do
Pearl
Washington was 21. McNabb was 5 in both basketball and football.
You know, I still wonder today that game that they played against Georgetown where he hit that shot at the Carrier Dome to win the game.
Yeah.
To this day, that's still like one of ESPN's top 20 college sports programs of all time.
I mean, ESPN's run by SU alums, so...
Oh, I can see that.
I would love to take credit for that, but I mean, yeah, I could. Also, that's great though. That's great. It's well deserved.
Yep,
it's
Pearl
good for the
Washington,
city.
Jim Brown at 44.
Yeah,
that's a good one, Jim Brown.
44 is a nice catch-all forever. Like 44, they wouldn't retire. They just kept passing it down, and like that was the honor you would get. You were number 44 at Syracuse.
Derek Coleman was 44 too, right?
Coleman was also 44.
What was Billy Owens?
Billy Owens was 30.
All right, so Billy Owens, Pearl Washington, Jim Brown, Billy Owens. Do we go McNabb? Oh, we got to go Marvin Harrison, right?
Yeah, Marvin Harrison. What number was Harrison? I don't know what number he was at SU. Maybe 11? I'll find out.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison, Syracuse jersey. We got to do McNabb. I'm telling if he ran for mayor, he would win.
Donovan? Okay.
Well, I mean, back in the day, he would have won.
1, 2, 3.
He was number 8. Marvin Harrison was number 8.
Marvin Harrison 8, and McNabb was what?
He was 5.
Now I forgot. High five, Donovan McNabb. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah,
5.
there we go. That's a good call by Nick Durst. We should put Carmelo Anthony in this one too. He's 15.
Yeah, I'm about to say, and then we should close it. I was going to say we either close it with Carmelo Anthony or Buddy Boeheim.
oh wait, all right. I'd be willing to swap out one of these guys for Buddy. 15, let's swap out Marvin Harrison.
15 for how many years Buddy Boeheim was on campus.
So you got a Buddy Boeheim card. What number is he wearing?
Oh, that was Bowman, so it's no jersey number. Yeah.
Well, they can keep the number on, can't they?
I don't remember that card having a jersey number on it for Buddy Boeheim.
Buddy Boeheim.
Yo, speaking of Boeheim, matter of fact, when we talked to the college basketball dude, this might be Boeheim's last year.
Boeheim's 35. They keep saying it's gonna be every year is Boeheim's last year. You know what I mean? Like he was supposed to go I want to say 6 years ago, and Mike Hopkins was supposed to take over, and then Boeheim's like, I'm gonna coach my kids. I think that was the excuse. Whatever. So he stuck around, and Hopkins is like, "See ya. I'm not going to do this forever."
You know who I see going up there when Boeheim finally calls it? I think they find a way to get Rick Pitino up there. I think Rick
he's just hanging out in Iona. They would love him. They would love him.
Chilling at Iona, right?
Yeah.
I think Rick Pitino. I think that's where Rick Pitino finishes his coaching career at Syracuse.
That would be something.
Yeah.
They would. I mean, they hated. Well, don't hate him. I mean, he beat us in '96 in the Final Four. Yeah. But I think he did it like a gentleman. I have no idea. But Pitino was actually an assistant. His first ever job, I think, was an assistant on Boeheim's staff.
Yep.
Boeheim. So Nick Durst said Boeheim second all time in wins at 998. They took away a bunch of Boeheim wins for some garbage Fab Melo violations.
Oh, and then of all people, Fab Melo. You know what I'm saying? Who was never nothing.
Rest in peace, Fab Melo.
Yeah. Oh, so excuse me, Fab. Now you bringing the show
geez,
down.
Yeah. Well, no, you brought him up. I just tried to sneak him through. All right, so we got Syracuse numbers.
I like the Syracuse one. I think we did a good job with Syracuse. Now I think the 6 overtime win versus UConn that came from Jarrett's a good idea.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's got a way to put a Jim Boeheim in there. You know what I'm saying?
I think Boeheim was 24 when he played.
Okay, maybe that's it right there. Jim Boeheim. Does this Carrier Dome have an address?
Man,
that's probably too much to ask.
one Carrier Dome way.
I know, right?
Maybe Jim Boeheim was. I don't know what number Jim Boeheim was. All it's showing up is Buddy Boeheim stuff.
Yeah, so there you go.
Hey, look, we got at least 3 tickets, which I believe are $2 each. I think, man, I felt like the poor cop behind me. I gave him a shot. I'm like, go in front of me, man. This is going to be confusion. Because then I checked out. I'm like, credit card? She's like, no, cash only.
Well, no, you can't play the lottery with credit card.
How you know that?
Yeah, you know that. You got to play.
Why can't you?
Because what if you hit the number and the card is or the check bounce or something like that? You got to play the lottery with cash.
I guess
lottery and PayPal, you got to do that with cash.
Oh, look at that, Jim.
Well, you can't do PayPal online, but the lottery you got to do that with cash.
Jared's got the address for us, 900 Irving Avenue. Yeah, I did. All right, so then I figured it out. So I had to go. I'm like, all right, leave this ticket here, please. I had to go around. I had to buy like 2 little things of chocolate and get cash back and go back around to buy the tickets. But now the good news is, if I go back, I'll have cash to pay for these tickets.
Yeah. Huh. How much do you have cash on you, Nando?
Right now, and I'll be walking by the Acme in West New York at approximately 5:07 p.m.
I think
now I got $50 on me. Before that, I had 2.
I have a single that has been sitting in the room for about 3 weeks now, and that might be the only cash I've seen. You know what I'm saying? Like I just have Apple Pay and Vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. That's all I really know what I have. But I have not Vibes. No Vibes, just a vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I thought it was like, what's this new app you're talking about?
Yeah, it's a new app. No, it's Vibes. Apple Pay and Vibes. You know what I'm saying? Just chilling, just cooling. Beep, like it's not even real. Beep.
Oh yeah.
Click, click. Yeah. Chronicles. Beep. Prism. Beep. Optic. Beep.
That's like the bankrupt way to have Netflix and chill.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. You know what I'm
Apple
saying?
Pay and Vibes.
Apple Pay and Vibes. Beep. Let's go, baby. Come on. Get your wine and let's go. How much is the wine? I don't know. Beep. Because it's like when you beeping, it's like it's not even real money.
Right.
Until you go actually check the account. And you're like,
the circle's like, that's a lot of.
They charge me for that.
The circle goes all the way around.
Yeah, they charge me for that. How dare they?
In the mornings.
Charge it to my phone bill.
Yeah. Right. I have to pay this now.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Oh man. So we got 3 cards filled out. We can come back to this later. We can ask Mayo actually for some Canadian ones.
That'd be a good one right there.
Yeah. I don't think Mayo likes hockey, so I don't think he's gonna be very helpful with the hockey stuff.
No,
Jared
he won't.
Is probably the guy we want to go to.
We can do Toronto all together. Or we can do Canada all together. Because I got a question for Mayo. What is the biggest moment in Canadian sports? Is it like
Joe Carter? It's got to be Joe Carter.
But it could be the Olympics. It could be some Olympic event,
all
right? And it could be Kawhi Leonard hitting that shot versus the 76ers. That was a big moment too. The bing, bing, bing. That could be the biggest moment in Canadian sports as well. But I would say, being that Joe Carter was actually won a championship, that would probably take the cake right there. But we'll ask a Canadian when we get one.
Adam saying Paul Henderson 72 Canada Cup winner over Russia. I think the fact we've never heard of that can't qualify it as the biggest Canadian sports moment. Where's Jalen? He's Canadian.
Ever since Jalen got on the staff, you know what I'm saying?
Right? Now he wants these calling meetings.
I'm too busy working. You know what I'm saying?
Renaming YouTube videos.
Yeah, I'm too busy working and to hang out with y'all.
Nick Durst says it's Crosby scoring the game-winning goal in overtime to give Canada the gold medal in Canada. Why isn't it Joe Carter?
See, because
nobody cares about the Blue Jays?
Hockey is big in Canada. That's
I understand that.
See what I'm saying? I can see whatever Nick is talking about being the Canadian, but we can ask Mayo too, though.
Yeah, we should. You know what? Why don't we put that on a Twitter poll or something?
Well, if Jalen was around.
That's Twitter. Yeah, right. Good point. What is the biggest moment in Canadian sports history? Please tell us. All right. Tell you what, we got to take a break. Mick Holland 34 on Twitter is going to be joining us. He's from Green Screens Media. We're going to talk some hoops, some college hoops. So stay tuned. Quick break. We'll be right back.
About Handshake Hall of Fame too.
Yeah, actually, I see Mike in the back end. Mike, if you could hear us, start thinking about who would be in your Handshake Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We may be doing something with that. We'll tell you about it when we talk to you. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll bring that up towards the end of this. So just to give you some time. Qualifications, they must be alive, and you don't have to have shaken their hand. There are 2 categories. You shook their hand, or someone whose hand you think would qualify into the Handshake Hall of Fame. Yeah. David Blaine, for example. Hillary Clinton. Handshake Hall of Famers. All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Mike Holland after this.
Stay tuned for sports.
Talk about your picks, your fantasy teams, and your sports collectibles on Bettor Sports Network.
My name is Lynn Glasser, and brand new to RT Sports is DFS Pick'em, where you can earn up to 20 times your entry fee by selecting more or less on player statistical projections. You can also use promo code BSN, where you can get a 100% deposit match up to $100, which is valid through the end of 2022. With that said, let's go ahead and dive into tonight's full NBA slate. If you've not used RT Sports DFS Pick'em, if you go 2 for 2 on props, you win 3 times your entry fee. 3 for 3, you win 6 times your entry fee. 4 for 4, 10 times your entry fee. And 5 for 5, you win 20 times. So I'm going to be giving you 3 picks that I'm going to be going with tonight to win 6 times my entry fee. And the first one is Trae Young, more than 45.6 fantasy points. So Trae Young makes his return to Madison Square Garden. They kind of have a little rivalry. Trae Young dating back to the playoffs and 2 years ago with him, with his electric fantasy performance. Atlanta versus the Knicks have the highest over-under on the slate with 230 projected points. Both teams average over 116 points per game. Knicks second in field goal attempts per game. And this is going to be a close game with the spread listed as only 2 points. Expect this to be a very tight back and forth battle with Atlanta. I think they pull it out. But I really like Trae Young over 45.6 fantasy points as he's hit that in 6 of his last 7 games to start the season. So that's going to be my first play for tonight. Second one is I'm going Giannis under 56.4 fantasy points. So it's hard to pick a Giannis under, but that's what I'm going to be doing in this matchup because I think Milwaukee absolutely blows out Detroit tonight at home. Giannis in games that they've won by over 10 points has only been playing about 28, 29 minutes per game compared to when he's playing in close games when he's playing about 35 minutes per game. So I think that's a huge hit for him. And it's going to be hard to get 56 fantasy points with only 28, 29 minutes on the court, which he's very capable of. We all know Giannis, but I really think that seven minutes extra bench time because it's going to be a blowout is just too much for him to get up to 56.4 fantasy points. And the third one I'm going to be looking at for tonight is Luka Doncic over 8.5 rebounds. So that's going to be my 3 plays. So with Luka, Jazz are off to an electric start. They're 6-2. And even though they're supposed to be rebuilding, but Luka actually leads Dallas in rebounds so far this season. He's averaging 9.5 rebounds per game. Jazz are a very up-tempo team. They rank 6th in shots attempted per game. So I really expect this to be another high-scoring affair. It's going to be a close battle as well. I think Utah hangs in there with Dallas, and even better for Luka to stay on the court for that long, especially hitting that over 8.5 rebounds. So I really like these 3 plays tonight. Go ahead and follow along. You can earn up to 6 times your entry fee. Again, head over to rtsports.com, DFS Pick'em. Use promo code BSN to get a 100% deposit match up to $100, valid through up until the end of 2022. Good luck tonight.
Chat, and enter contests in real time. It's Sports Talk 3.0 with Bettor Sports Network.
Welcome back, everybody. Corey Nando and friends here on Bettor Sports Network, brought to you by Mayo Media. Oh, man. Corey?
Yo.
I just got an email. Mike Holland's going to be here in a second. I just got an email from Leaf.
What they doing? Why Leaf keep emailing and don't never come on the show?
Oh man, I gotta hit the guy up. This is gonna be. Oh man. All right. Wait, is this Panini? No, this is Leaf. Wait, how are they doing this? Leaf is selling a Panini card. I don't know what's going on here. 2022 Panini Instant Sauce Gardner Cheesehead cards signed.
Oh, that's a good one right there.
Out of 25.
That's a good one. If I was a Jet fan, I would try to grab that one.
How much would you pay?
That's online right now.
I don't know.
What
I got an email from
$1.75.
What?
What they charge you for? $1.75? He's a defender though.
$59.99.
That's not bad. I would hop on that if I was a Jet fan.
Sticker autos authenticated by BAS, not issued as signed by Panini. Oh, so maybe they bought these instant cards and then had him sign 25 stickers and stuck them on?
Maybe so.
I'll forward it. I'll forward it to you guys because apparently it's not on the website, according to this email.
Forward it to the Jet fans. I'm not a Jet fan.
Only 25 copies available, not available to the general public or on site. All right. Adam will get it. Jared will get it. Corey can get it. Just to look at it.
Whatever.
I don't know, man. $59.99. That's not bad at all.
It's not bad at all. Cincinnati Bearcat.
Corey, we can rip these open real quick as we wait for Mike if you'd like, or we can just
I think Mike is ready.
Yeah?
Yeah, Mike is ready.
I don't know. So there's some comments that his mic isn't working. Mike's mic isn't working.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, they're getting them ready now. They're getting Mike ready now. All right, so cool.
Okay.
Open that up while we wait for Mike.
There we go.
Like it was my idea.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Here
that's
we go.
No, right. That's the
These are Bryce Harper stained glass.
Stained glass Bryce Harper. But you see, he don't have the uniform on.
That's it, man.
I don't like that.
The stained glass is so beautiful. Like I can almost overlook it. Almost.
Yeah, that's a good looking. And then you can't tell if he's a Philly or if he's a national in that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. He has the same colors, right?
Yeah, it's the same colors. Those
One of these
stainless
days,
glass, those be going crazy. Those stainless glass.
No, there's no. That's in the other. That's in the other envelope. Apparently, I bought more than one. More than one.
I seen what you call this? What Patrick Mahomes stained glass?
Oh yeah.
Like super duper expensive. Like way above my pay grade. You know what I'm saying?
You know, at some point, it just kind of like it's pretty. You know what I mean? Like, what if Harper homers 3 times tonight? You know, like
he might
whenever the next game
like
is.
Reggie Jackson did in the home run, and that's how Reggie Jackson became Mr. October.
One game turns you into a legend. You know?
Yep, that's all it takes. You
I mean, Bryce Harper's
in
like
Yankee Stadium, and boom.
Oh yeah, here's the genius one that I bought. Oh, weird. All right, this is a bonus. I bought it like a genius. Didn't read the entire description, and I was like, oh, it's a mini. I thought it was Allen Ginter mini, but it's not. It's a regular. You ready for this one, Corey?
Let me see.
This is the Allen and Ginter cryptocurrency. I did not pay $100 for it. I did not pay $100.
I like that. That's cool. I like that.
It's a 9.5, right? It's Bitcoin.
I like that.
These were going like. What's crazy is, I actually wanted to figure this out. Like on 130 points, it makes some graph.
Yeah.
Like what this card was going nuts for a while, and I asked my buddy at Tops, like, were these like limited editions or anything? He's like, no, there's regular Allen and Ginter inserts.
I got to get some of that Allen and Ginter. You know, Kennedy's mom. I don't want to put too much of her business in the street, but Kennedy's mom is a executive assistant in the government. Right. Okay. And the person that she works, the person that she's the executive assistant for, would have an Allen and Ginter card.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I got a story coming out. I got to sit with Jeremy from Tops, our guy.
Okay.
And this guy Jared Allen, who fronts a band, this New Jersey legendary band, and I got to watch him sign all his cards for Allen and Ginter. And dude, it was pretty. Like Jeremy shows up with a box this big. Yeah. I don't want to give away the whole whatever. It shows up with like a box this big, and it's like chopped up. Like here are the regular cards, like 400 regular cards he's got to sign. Like, you know, these he has to sign in ink, these he has to sign in red ink, these he has to sign in black ink, and like just all the way down. And so I got to sit there and watch. We had beers. We were doing it at a brewery. I was just watching the dude sign his name.
That sounds like a good time. I wish I was in on that. I got
a story about
that too, but I'm gonna write it down so I can come back to it because now we gotta talk. We gotta talk to Mike. Mike, what up with you?
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Is that a Colt McCoy jersey?
Nah, it's a Vince Young signed jersey.
Oh, okay.
is that courtesy of gettingthegame.com?
Nah, that's courtesy of me being 14.
Okay. Great. One of the all-time legendary football games. University of Texas versus USC. The Reggie Bush team, the Vince Carter game. But that was the only game USC may have lost in 3 years. But that would, if you're a UT fan, I can imagine that would have been a special moment for you growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, definitely was. My brother played for UT back in the mid-'90s with Major and Ricky Williams. So seeing that kind of growing up, haven't missed many home games, man. So it's been a tough past 10 years. But
it's been tough. It's been tough since that play. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? You had Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? So that was cool. You have Kevin Durant, you know. So, yeah, I think, and that, are you ready to go into the SEC, though? That's going to be,
man, that's what
Oh, but at least you're gonna have Archie Manning. You're gonna have Arch Manning, so that's good.
Well, we got to win a few more games. Hopefully, hold on to him. But he's enrolling early, so I think we're okay.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, you know what just hit me? UTA is UT. It's Austin, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes,
UT
Austin.
Like, yeah, Texas. That was like before Austin was cool. It was like,
yeah, it was there way
was
before
there.
Austin was like a trending spot. You know, what
Never
I'm
put two
saying?
and two together like that. Yeah, it's like UT Brooklyn, right? Like, it's been there before it was cool.
Yeah, and that's a
How
beautiful
about that?
city.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Awesome. Hey, man. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
So you're writing for drroto.com, huh?
Absolutely, man. So you can catch my articles on there, writing a ton for college basketball with the upcoming season. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun doing some NFL work as well.
We go way back with Dr. Roto. Old friend of the show.
Good guy. You know what I'm saying?
For
Good
sure.
guy. Always been a big fan of Dr. Roto. Got a chance to work with him. One of my favorite people to work with and stuff like that. Let me tell you a little about me and I'm a big college basketball fan.
Okay.
You probably heard of where I went to high school at, school in the Bronx called St. Raymond's High School for Boys. Legendary basketball program. You know what I'm saying? Kareem Reed, whatever. The Felipe Lopez's main rivalries. More recently, Julius Hodge, really. And a couple players out there now. Your man in Dayton that play for Dayton, the New York point guard that play for Dayton is pretty good. So always been around, college hoops and stuff like that. A big fan. So let me ask you, who do you think is the best conference in college basketball going into the season?
Yeah, I think it's going to be between the Big 12 and the SEC this year. The Big 12 last year could have realistically got 8 teams in. They got 7 in. Oklahoma didn't get in, but they had top 40 in offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency. It was just a grind, really. So they could have gotten 8 teams in. I think they can get 8 teams in again, but the tournament's not going to do that, right? And the SEC, they're so top heavy. You've got Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Florida's on the come up. So I think those two, but you can't sleep on the Big East. They went crazy in the portal this year. They've done a lot of really good things, and they've got some teams that are on the come up for sure, like Creighton and some other teams.
Yeah, you know what? I was looking at some preseason All-Americans, and what's your man name from St. John's is what's his name? Posh.
Posh Alexander.
Yeah, Posh Alexander is a preseason All-American. Not first team, but I was surprised to see him there.
Yeah, he's great on the defensive end. But he's got a growing offensive game. That team goes as he goes, and he's going to get a little more help on the offensive end. So I think his numbers have a chance to go up. But he averaged over 2 steals per game. He's just a bulldog on defense. So St. John's has got a chance this year. They had Champaign last year. They couldn't make it work. This is a big year for Coach Mike Anderson. They really got to get it going this year because there's enough talent there to make the tournament.
If not, Mark Jackson to be back.
Right, absolutely.
And Mike, sure. you mentioned the portal. We're coming off. Well, we're in the middle of college football season where the portal's had some impacts, and like people just kind of like, oh, this guy's here now. Has it been like that in basketball? Like I know, it's like as a Cuse guy, I know like the entire women's team just like took off. I know we had a couple defections on the men's side, but like, is there a program that got crazy decimated, or a program that really like stocked up, or is it just kind of a little tamer on the basketball side?
No, it's absolutely nuts on the basketball side. I think at one point they had 1,400 Division I athletes in the
portal. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I made a top 100 board, and this summer it was really tough to navigate that, but it was a lot of fun. There's some teams that kind of have a bunch of players coming back. You look at North Carolina. Made the title game, right? They've got their big 4 coming back, but they lose Brady Manick, who was huge during their championship game run, and they're going to fill that with Pete Nance, and the name does sound familiar. That is Larry Nance's little brother. He's coming over from Northwestern, and they're going to be a powerhouse again. So teams can use the transfer portal to, obviously reload, and then you've got teams that are obviously getting new coaches like LSU. Mac McMahon, he brought over 3 guys from his Murray State team that was really exciting to watch. You've got Florida, who's brought in a bunch of talent from all over the country. So a bunch of different ways to get it done. And you can't discount, there are some teams that are out there that are staying pat, keeping their roster. Drake Bulldogs, we just interviewed their head coach, Darian DeVries, this afternoon. A lot of guys coming back. They're going to be a fun mid-major team to watch. So a lot of different ways to get it done in the college basketball
scene. Wait a minute. My man from Murray State got a new job?
Yeah, your guy from Murray State, man. He's down in Baton Rouge now. So he took his 3 best players with him.
I was gonna say, is Murray State just horrible now? Like, are they just like deflated team, or like?
Murray State, they can still find a little bit of talent though. They still
they can for sure. But yeah,
I don't know, man. The 3 best players went to LSU. That's like 3 must be 3 very good players.
It was definitely KJ Williams, one of the better players in the mid-major ranks. I think I have him number 7 on our top 100 transfer board. LSU got a bunch of guys coming in because everything that kind of happened there. Will Wade, the wiretaps and everything finally came to an end last year. And yeah, they need some stability, and that's what Coach McMahon's going to bring to them.
Nobody do scandals like college basketball, bro. I mean, the FBI get involved in college basketball scandals, so that's interesting stuff. Who is the best? Like, if there's a mid-major team that can make an Elite 8/Final Four run, who would it be?
Oh boy, man, that's a good question. I mean, for me, I think it's UAB. We actually picked them.
Alabama Birmingham. Okay.
Yeah, they've got this kid Jelly Walker, Jordan Walker, absolutely dynamite. Man, kid can really score, and they brought in a lot of pieces. They're actually bringing in a transfer, Eric Gaines from LSU. He's going to start in the backcourt with them, so a good two-way player. They got a big man, Trey Jemison, who's been playing really well this offseason. They're going to scare a lot of people. We actually picked them on our show, One and Done, that I do with my guys Eric and Jay. We picked them last year to beat Houston. They played a pretty good game, didn't quite get it done. We obviously saw how powerful that Houston team is and how good they're going to be this year. But yeah, I'm looking at UAB. Someone like Furman's got two guys that could probably play at a lot of schools. So they're super interesting. And then we interviewed head coach Saul Kowalczyk out of Toledo. He's got almost all his guys back. He's super excited for this year. They're one of those teams that can get hot from three. They're too big, shot over 40% from three last year. So, you get into the tournament, you play one of these teams where they can go 5 out and everyone can shoot the three, and that's pretty dangerous if they get them to start falling.
That dude, Jelly Walker, right? Jordan Walker, he went to Long Island Lutheran. He's a New York guy. He's a very good lead guard. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to be leading the crew at Alabama Birmingham, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a lot of fun to watch. He was on the top 20 returning players that we put up this year. So definitely a lot of fun to watch. There's some really good guards in the mid majors. Max Asmus, who, if you followed the tournament a few years ago with Oral Roberts, he kind of exploded onto the scene when they almost made it to the Elite Eight. He's back again. So the mid majors, especially with the extra COVID year, you got a lot of teams that are coming back with 6-year players, and so there's some older experienced team in the mid major ranks. There's gonna be some upsets this year. For sure.
I'm about to say you can see a mid major making a deep run if they got that extra year. So yeah, no doubt.
I want to actually, Mike. I'm gonna. This is my problem now. And sorry, apologies in advance. I'm gonna keep going back to LSU now because you got my interest peaked.
That's cool.
They're bringing in a core 3 guys from Murray State who know the coach. The coach obviously good enough, like making the jump to LSU. I just quickly looked up. They're 35-1 to make the Final Four. Are they in that realm of like a sleeper team to make 35-1 seems kind of low for a team that was coming off a wiretapping scandal? But it seems like they got, everyone talked about North Carolina. These guys are playing together forever. At St. Peter's, these guys are playing together forever. Like one of the new boxes you got to check is, have these guys played together forever? And they're a strong unit with all this chaos going around college basketball. You got 3 guys coming in who have played together forever. Are they there, or am I just going to throw away $5?
Man, I don't mind it, but the thing is the mid-major jump, right? We don't know which guys are just stars in the mid-major and which guys can be stars when you jump into these Power 5, conferences. So that's going to be the telling sign. If KJ Williams is as good as he was at Murray State in the SEC, which is going to be tough because the SEC's got some really talented bigs. Obviously, the returning National Player of the Year, Oscar Tshiebwe, is in the SEC. So I think they're an interesting team. I think something that people discount is that they have Adam Miller coming back, who is a huge get for Coach McMahon. He was out all last year as a transfer from Illinois the year before. I mean, the kid can score. I mean, he can probably average 16 to 18 if he's fully healthy this year. They've got some weapons. I think the problem is when you basically turn around your entire roster, right? It's like, do these guys even know how to play together? We know the Murray State guys know the system, but how are these other guys that are transferring in and coming in from the high school ranks? How do they all fit? Can they make it work? We might not know what LSU is really going to look like until maybe a little bit past the midway point of the season.
That's good though. They can still figure it out in the second half after the new year and go on a run, and that'll be good. The Big Ten. Who's the best team in the Big Ten this year? Is it clearly hands down Indiana, or you think Illinois can make a push as well?
So I think early in the season, Indiana has the advantage. They're returning their 3 core players, their lead guard, Xavier Johnson, who I think he's in his 6th year, I believe. Then you have probably the Big Ten Player of the Year in Trace Jackson Davis. So a ton of talent that's coming back. They have the most experience. But the Big Ten is wide open. I think I saw a crazy stat where it's like 17 of the top 20 scorers are no longer there. I mean, these guys were getting drafted, right? We saw Jaden Ivey, Keegan Murray, like Kofi Coburn didn't get drafted, but was obviously a force 20 and 10 at Illinois. And so for me, if you're looking at betting in the Big Ten, I don't mind taking, someone like an Illinois or a Michigan State because it's absolutely wide open. Michigan is real entertaining because they have a bunch of young guys. Coach Howard's son's going to be playing. They're bringing in some transfer.
Really?
Yeah. So, man, it's really tough to pin that down. And I think that that's the one conference where if you look at the odds, you'll see some of the teams in there have better odds to win the conference regular season title than they do the actual national championship. Like you'll see guys in the, Michigan State has better odds than like an Iowa to win a national title in some places. Wow. That just kind of tells you like, it looks like as these teams develop, bring in their transfers, their freshmen come in and make an impact. Things are going to kind of turn around as the middle of the season progresses with the Big Ten.
Mike, do you know anything about Overtime Elite? Do you dip into that, or just not have any brain space?
No, not a lot, man. We try to cover 358 teams.
Yeah. I'm the same man. I'm the same way, but it's with college basketball.
Make it 360. No, let me stop. Make it 360 then.
I just want to know who this Nasir Cunningham guy is, and if it's a good card to have.
Man, I'm just trying to keep my head above water and halfway through.
Well, you're on the right show, man. Welcome.
No doubt. Yeah, exactly, 100%. But nah, good stuff. Everybody like smart college basketball people that I've talked to so far this year, right? And I'm like, okay, who is the team that I should be on the lookout for? Almost to a man, they say Creighton. They was like, this is a big year for Creighton. They like everybody is saying that Creighton is a Final Four team. That Creighton's got the goods to win it all. And I think Creighton opened up inside the top 10 in the initial Associated Press poll. What's your thoughts on Creighton coming into the season? We found out yesterday that they're in Nebraska, which was news to me.
A learning moment on the show. Teaching moment.
Yeah, absolutely. The Blue Jays, right? No, Creighton's real interesting because they're bringing in this kid, Baylor Shireman. And I don't know if you guys watched the first round matchup that South Dakota State had against Providence last year. The kid wearing the headband, 6'7".
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he's got it.
He's got the flash, man. The kid's a lot of fun. Man, he's coming in, and if he can be really good in obviously one of these power conferences, they have a super high ceiling. They had 3 freshmen last year that balled out. The kid Nimhart injured at the end of the year there, but he's super dynamic as a point guard. And you got the big man, Ryan Kalkbrenner, who just continues to get better and better. We didn't see him in that game that they really challenged Kansas in the round of 32. And he's a great shot blocker. He was the defensive player of the year in the Big East. I mean, you've got multiple weapons there. Arthur Kaluma is probably their best NBA draft prospect there. He's only getting better. These guys were freshmen last year. Kalkbrenner going into his junior year. So ton of upside. The question is, how does Baylor Shireman fit in with the style of play? Coach McDermott likes to let it fly. Seems like he fits, but if there are enough basketballs to go around.
I feel like this is a homework. This is like a personal question for me. Is SU going to be good? How what's the outlook for SU? How many Boeheims? There are 2 of them still, right?
Man, yeah, they're gone.
All right.
After 15 years.
I thought Jimmy asked for another year.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. But I think the NCAA finally said enough is enough. But I think for me, Syracuse is in an interesting spot with being more of a transition period, bringing in a bunch of freshmen. Judah Mintz is going to allow Joe Girard, and Joe Girard was an absolute dynamite scorer in high school, and man, just really not a lead point guard. So he's going to get to play off the ball this year, and I think he's going to score 20 points a game and be one of the toughest guards to handle in the ACC. But Judah Mintz is kind of a young player that we haven't seen on the national stage, right? And there's going to be a lot of these guys that are coming in, and we just don't know. And it's a 2-3 zone. Is that still going to be a thing? Because it feels like the more that we see this, right, the more the teams are able to just break that down easier and easier. And I just feel like that defense is not what it was when Carmelo Anthony and those guys were in there. Obviously, it works if you have really good defensive players.
If the personnel is good, it still works.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. If the personnel works, it's good. But now you're trying to play wide open, shoot threes on the other end. It's tough to get all 3-and-D guys on one team. And the best ones usually go top 15 in the NBA draft, right? So
yeah, that's true.
Fair.
Right there.
Fair.
What does Duke look like without Coach K?
I think they look okay. I mean, it's weird to say, right? I mean, John Shire, he's been there. So it's not like he's just, walking in. He's been recruiting these players. I mean, these recruiting classes that this guy is, it's basically like Coach K never left, right? We'll have to see it on the court as he makes adjustments and things like that. But when you're bringing in 3 of the top 4 players on, 24/7 sports recruiting rankings, like it should feel like an easy transition. Just get the balls into the playmakers, make things happen. He's got the luxury of getting his point guard back here. So, obviously an extension on the court, and, they should be able to make a deep run. I think they're another team that is going to take some time. They have to figure out the rotations. They're bringing in like 7 high school guys that could probably play everywhere, obviously. And, how does the rotation shake out, and how's the chemistry going to, work out in the end?
I kind of like this. It's just chaos. It sounds like, man. It's like total chaos.
For real. Speaking of the chaos atmosphere of it, what St. Peter's, did those kids attack the transfer portal after making that historic run last year? Did they, you know what I'm saying? And if so, where'd they land?
Yeah, so Shaheen Holloway, the coach, moved over to Seton Hall.
He's at Seton Hall,
and so he's bringing in one kid with him, but everyone pretty much hit the portal. Doug Eddert, the kid that we enjoyed covering with the mustache, right? He headed over to Bryant, so he's going to play for a different
the Bulldogs. There. Okay,
yeah, exactly. So he's going there, and the Drame brothers are going over to LaSalle. So they'll probably be
Philadelphia
figures there. Yeah.
Why not just stay at St. Peter's at that point, dude? Like, I mean,
Bryant,
that's right. Like,
that's the thing. It feels like everyone dives into the portal as soon as I get it, right? In basketball, more so than any sport, I feel like the coaches play a huge role in the recruiting process, and style of play matters, right? So I think trying to find different fits, and not all these guys are probably good enough to play in the Big East, right? So it's on a night-to-night basis, even though they made the Cinderella run. I mean, the Seton Hall's got some dogs on their team this year, and so, pretty tough to just kind of take all your guys from St. Peter's on a Cinderella run and try to make it happen in the.
You are a star. East. You are a star in Jersey City for the rest of your life.
Yeah, campus,
you can walk around that city and just be like, "Give me this for free, please." Yes, sir. Of course, St. Peter's. Yeah, the magical run. And you're like, "No, I'm gonna go. Let me go to LaSalle." That seems like misguided. Someone's not giving them good advice, I feel.
We'll see, man. We'll never know, right? That's the great thing about college basketball. You absolutely do not know what's going to happen on a night-to-night basis. It's pretty wild to cover.
Yeah, Villanova probably still the best team in Philadelphia. I don't think nobody's ready to catch them out there yet. I'm still St. Joe's, everybody trying to get back. So that's interesting. So for the NBA draft, Vic is 1, Scoot Henderson is 2. Is number 3 going to come out the college ranks? Is it Tshiebwe?
No, I think with the big man, and you're seeing a lot of these big guys come back to school, like Baycott, Tshiebwe, Hunter Dickinson from Michigan. There is a path to them making more money than they probably would either being undrafted like a Kofi Coburn or essentially just trying to get a secondary second contract there. I think you're going to see those guys play. Trace Jackson Davis from Indiana, another guy. This is the year of the big because they all came back, right? These guys would typically try to get into the draft, get a second round, pick here. They're just not really built for the next level. So I think for me, when you're looking at these, the guys in the college ranks now, you're looking at a lot of freshmen, right? We obviously see that as a trend.
Yeah.
Guys that are one and done. Nick Smith from Arkansas looks like a star. Derek Lively, the center from Duke, and looks like a game changer on the defensive end. And then it's going to be interesting to see what all these 23 and 24-year-old guys are doing, right? In their 5th and 6th year. The NBA always looking for guys that, are just out there grinding it out. So you see it all the time, right? You guys like Jimmy Butler and stuff like that, where they just work harder than the next guy. Should be some guys coming out like that. But I think for me, it's really going to be on that number 1 Duke class and that number 2 Arkansas class, followed by the Kentucky freshmen like Cason Wallace and Chris Livingston. So those guys to watch as well.
Nice. Cool Mike, stuff. We got to let you. We have Pat Mayo, whose name is on the show that we got to bring in.
I feel like I had one more, but maybe not. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want to ask about my horns?
What's up with
we got a new stadium, and we're winning the Big 12 this year.
Oh, I got them. Yesterday, I got money on them now. You told wait. Who? Hold on. Oh, Texas.
No, you got Texas Christian.
I got TCU. I got
win
TCU.
to win the football championship.
To win the football championship.
Yeah. So there you go, right there. All right.
All right, Mike. We'll get you the Handshake Hall of Fame next time.
All right, no problem. It's Vince Young.
Give me some time, unless you got a guy right off top.
Oh, you met Vince Young. That's right.
A good one. Yeah, that's actually. I think that might.
Vince Young's a good one.
All right, guys. I appreciate the time.
Hey, good stuff, Mike. We'll holler at you. Yeah.
MC Holland 34 on Twitter, right? Mick Holland 34.
Yeah,
that's right. MC Holland 34, my friend.
All right, MC Holland 34 on Twitter. Check him out, Mike. We'll have you on again, man. This is great. Check him out, drroto.com, Green Screens Media. You get the rest of his bio on Twitter. Hey, let's bring in Patty Mayo if he's ready.
Let's go, Mayo. What up, Mayo?
Hey, Mayo, come on, man. Join the show, Pat Mayo. Hey. I don't think he's ready yet, but he's wearing a hoodie, so slide right in. Yeah. Pat Mayo will stay until I guess his children act up on the monitor.
Yeah.
We usually get 20 minutes with Pat. There he is.
What's up, Patty? Pat?
Oh, not much. Just got back from I'm running again in the post-COVID situation. It's not great. Not great. My lungs aren't back.
Oh,
running is so boring, man. Are you running outside?
No, every time I run outside, I tear my calf, so I have to run on a treadmill.
That's you mentioned like beautiful, like Nova Scotia, seaside, like sand, clams.
Not so much sand, but
salmon,
rocks. I live in this. I can go run next to the ocean, like that's right by my house. But every time I run outside, just debilitated for 3 months.
Wow.
On my walks recently, there's a random stray dog that's been rolling through the neighborhoods. And I'm like, I don't like stray dogs, but so I, change my route. And if I see that dog, I start going the other way, Pat. I don't fool around with stray dogs.
Smart.
Pat, how do you feel about that? Pat, what are your thoughts on stray dogs?
Well, you can tell sort of the economic climate wherever you're visiting by the size of stray dogs. Like, for example, when I was in Toronto and see a stray dog, when I was in New York and saw a stray dog, they still look pretty well fed. But like when I was in Belize, they had like the skinny dogs.
Oh, yeah. These ones are kind of scroungy as well. These stray dogs are like probably dogs have been beaten, put out of people's house and stuff like that. So they're really more scared of you than you are of them. But this ain't a stray dog conversation, but we was talking about the exercise. Pat, I want to talk to you. Let's do like the Stephen A and Skip. You know what I'm saying? Let's do first take. Let's get into something like that.
Can I be Stephen A and you be Skip?
That's fine with me.
And I could be the girl who's married to Jalen Rose.
I think they might have divorce. Rose? I think they might be divorced now.
Oh, all right.
Or they might be going through a divorce process.
Karam.
Yeah, right? Shout out to Jalen Rose.
I guess unless you're leaving Molly
that's
Karam,
her name.
that's not
I think
nice.
they Well, I mean, whatever. But
Go ahead.
Brooklyn Nets. It's a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess, bro. What are you gonna do? What would you do if you were Sean Marks and you were in charge of the Brooklyn Nets? Start with Kyrie Irving.
Well, there's a simple answer to what Sean Marks needs to do. All right, just quit. Then you don't have to deal with it anymore.
Whatever. Let me go.
That's actually really smart.
He's out here AD somewhere. Do St. Peter's need an athletic director?
Steve Nash got he got out pretty cleanly here. He's just like, I don't know how to deal with this nonsense. Come on.
What do you do with what do you do? Do you hire Ime Aduka and just make him the head coach? Yeah.
Obviously, we don't still know what happened.
Yeah, no.
Him in Boston. Like, is it a Boston team rule that he violated, or did he like violate the law? Because I think that those are two completely different things. Like, Lord knows what like team concepts the Celtics have. Like, they're a historic franchise. They might have like grandfathered in clauses from 1840 or something. So I don't know what's going on. I guess the Nets, they just don't give a shit at this point. So they're like, yeah, we might as well throw this onto the fire too.
Anybody else?
You're right.
But like, what can you do with Kyrie? Like, no one wants to trade for him.
Well, and then the type of dude he is, like
he's Antonio Brown at this point, isn't he? Like, okay, he's just gonna float into the ether and maybe like a.
But the thing about it is, when Antonio Brown floated into the ether, he wasn't even. Listen, I think Antonio Brown can still play, but the skills was declining. Like Kyrie Irving can still take his game to an elite level and be, the best at his position in this league. So you can't just put him out the league or put him off the team right now because of how skilled he is. But I do understand at some point, this guy is more of a headache. He's more of a liability than an asset.
100%. Like every question, like even if anyone on the Nets goes to the press conference after the game, whether it be Durant or like when Seth Curry comes back and he has a good game and he's up there. All the questions are just about Kyrie, and people are like, I don't want to answer this. Like, I don't know what goes on in that guy's head.
You guys are gonna have to do this segment by yourself. I'm reading about this. This Jalen Rose Molly Karam thing is fascinating.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Jalen Rose announced the divorce on Instagram, said they had been separated for a year. This was last summer. There are a lot of rumors. I'm trying to the autofill is Jalen Rose, Molly Karam. The first thing you see is Reddit. So
you're on a Reddit rabbit hole. Now just remember,
very much so. Yes. But
everything you read on Reddit is not true.
I understand that. But there are links. And she has endometriosis, sadly.
Huh?
That's the other thing that autofilled was endometriosis.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I don't know what that is, but it don't sound like it's fun.
That's when you don't have enough milk.
When I was coming on, did you say
no? That's not it. No, wait, my bad. I'm thinking of something else.
When I was coming on, I heard you say Dr. Roto. Was he on the show earlier? Did you ask him? Because I think he's a doctor.
Pat's always had a problem with that. Even back to the RE days, it's like, this guy is not a doctor. You know what I'm saying?
Not a doctor.
Well, it's because I got fooled. I really like Mark. Mark's a good dude. Yeah. But like I was doing a show with him at Roto Experts in like 2011 or something like that. I was like, oh, good. Dr. Roto, let me run these injuries by you. He's like,
and he's like, what are you talking about?
It's kind of misleading.
And he's like, I couldn't tell you where the fifth metatarsal is. And he's like, I thought you was a doctor. And he's like a doctor of the brain. You know what I'm saying? So there you go right there. Pat, we doing this thing. I don't know. Y'all got lottery in Canada. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it doesn't get up. It doesn't get up to 1.2 billion though.
Well, down here we got the 1.2 billion thing, right? So what we was doing is like we was going through like teams, colleges, universities, and we're trying to find important numbers from these teams, you know what I'm saying, to create a Powerball. So we're going to do a Canada Powerball, but first, right, the biggest moment in Canadian sports, was it Kawhi Leonard or was it like some Olympic hockey?
Or was it Joe Carter?
The golden goal.
Or Joe Carter.
Carter is way bigger than Kawhi's. I'm trying to think. The golden goal 2002 in Salt Lake, I think Crosby scored it. Canada beats USA for the hockey gold is pretty big. The Summit Series is probably still the biggest. Or Donovan Bailey breaking the 100-meter dash record in Atlanta in 96. I mean, it was Ben Johnson, but then that didn't count anymore. Yeah. So in 96, when Bailey won, that was huge. Like, that was a really big deal. But yeah, the Summit Series, 72, Canada beats the Russians. It's sort of like, I don't know, was the one that the Americans did in 80 in Lake Placid? Miracle on Ice. It was like that.
Yeah. Miracle on Ice. So Al Michaels, Miracle on Ice.
Yeah,
so that was like Canada's that, Miracle on Ice.
Yeah, it was like that, but bigger because it was a 9-game series, I think.
Oh, wow. The best of 9?
Yeah, best of 9. Oh, okay. 72.
We got to learn more. We got to learn more about Canadian sports history.
And then you would put Joe Carter over Kawhi's run.
I would say it's not even close.
But Pat did bing, 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 and the ball drop it in right there in Toronto.
You have to remember, basketball is still pretty new. Like, the Raptors came in 95. The Jays have been around since like the early 70s. And you might find this surprising. Baseball, especially in 1992, far more popular than basketball is now.
I can see that.
I can see that
in Canada, because Toronto, the Blue Jays was always good back then.
Yeah, the Expos were good too.
Yeah, that's where Pedro Martinez came from.
Yeah, it was like
they say like.
Go ahead.
The Blue Jays aren't Toronto's team; they're Canada's team, right? Like, that's like an entire country, one team.
And I mean, the Raptors fall into that now. Like, I'm not trying to say the Raptors aren't popular; they're super popular. But like the Jays, like you look at the ratings still on TV, like. Because old people don't like basketball in Canada. They like baseball because they're old. Yeah. And like basketball is just too new for them. So baseball just has that sort of like generational thing that goes well beyond. It is. I was 7, 8 when Carter hit the home run. Like, I remember staying up with my dad to watch it. And there was nothing on TV then either. Like, this is what everyone was watching in Canada.
You know what Canada needs? A college football team. So I guess how do we make a Canadian team? Can we get a Canadian team in the Big Ten? Is that possible?
Bring the Queens College team down.
I mean, we do have college teams. They're just not, they play Canadian rules and they're not very good. The college I went to, weirdly enough, when I was there, was sort of like the USC of Canada. I think we won 3 national championships in the 4 years that I was there. We were awesome. And then we got busted for steroids. The coach left and all that stuff. But we were great. It was awesome to go to.
So it was a Big Ten team. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we got busted for steroids. That's the entire team got busted for steroids.
Basically, like distribution and all that stuff. I don't think they took away the titles though, because I think there's the only one that comes close in Canada with like a real system football wise is Laval, because they're sponsored by Nike. They go to Florida for their training camp every single year. They really screw everyone up because they can basically say their plays out loud because they're a French team. And and Quebec is the only place in Canada besides like the very south of Ontario, like Hamilton and places like that actually play American rules football. They don't play Canadian rules. So you see more players from there end up going and playing like college football in the States. Like the dude who was he on the Chiefs, the guy who like sat out the COVID year so he could be a doctor in Quebec.
Yeah.
Like that guy, like there's a lot of like French Canadians who are actually really good at football, but there's Simon Fraser in BC is in the NCAA. I think they're D2.
Okay, got it. So like
Makes
if
sense.
we was to do like a Powerball, would like Tristan Thompson, would he make it? Or you would no Trajan Langdon?
Do you want me to give you the number?
Trajan
Because there's
Langdon's
only there's only one number that matters here. You know that, right?
We need
So
6.
it would be
What's that?
We need 6.
Okay, well, 99 is one of them.
No, 99. We can't do 99.
Oh, that's
actually.
Wayne Gretzky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got to stop at 60 though.
Yeah.
So we can't even do 66 for Super Mario.
So we can do Mario Lemieux at 6, right?
All right, so we go 6 and 9 then.
6 and 9. Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky.
How many CFL teams are there?
Oh,
8?
Vince Carter. What about Vince Carter?
Oh yeah, how about that?
You know, I mean, he was a phenomenon league wide, but if you ask Raptors fan who the favorite Raptor ever is, it's Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry.
What number was Kyle Lowry?
I would say Kyle Lowry was the best basketball player in Toronto Raptor history.
Nah, Bosch was.
Interesting. Okay.
Bosch was awesome. Just he had no one around him.
Kyle Lowry. I got Kyle Lowry stuff right over there. From Philly to your city, Kyle Lowry. So we got Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky, Kyle Lowry. I feel like we missing an Olympian or something.
Yeah, but they don't have numbers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but what year did they compete? Kyle Lowry's number 7.
Yeah, so
wait,
6, 7, 9.
Did
I'm
he keep
trying to
that
think
for
of
the
like
Raptors?
who are the biggest. 32 for Roy Halladay.
Ah, that's a good one. That's a good one right there.
I'm just trying to think of like not necessarily.
Well, what about Joe Carter? I feel like Joe Carter should make this, right?
I mean, Joe Carter has the biggest moment. Like, if you ask people like who everyone's favorite Blue Jay is, it's Roy Halladay.
Okay.
He was the face of the shitty Blue Jays for a decade, and he was their only good player.
I'll always respect those dudes that be with a team through the lean years and they just stay there. Kind of like what's going to end up to Damian Lillard in Portland, where he's always going to be like in the second round, and that's going to be it, and never really get that far. But he's a great player, so I always kind of respect that.
Yeah, you see, the thing with Joe Carter is that Joe Carter wasn't actually very good. He hit the home run. Like, he was fine. But like Roberto Alomar and John Olerud were the guys on that team, and their pitching staff was awesome.
Yeah.
Like Alomar is like a legit Hall of Famer.
Raheem Ismail?
Yeah, the Rocket. Remember he signed with the CFL? Everyone went nuts.
Oh, Rocket Ishmael?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when Gretzky and John Candy owned the Argonauts.
Yeah.
That's a weird ownership bunch.
Hey, it was Gretzky, John Candy, and someone else. I forget who the third guy was.
It was the collectibles. It was the guy who did Spawn. Todd McFarlane? Is that
really?
it? I think so. I feel like he
Todd
traveled with them when they bought stuff.
Todd McFarlane did do millionaire actor by millionaire Bruce McNall, John Candy, and Wayne Gretzky.
Bruce McNall. Sorry, I got my MCs mixed up, I guess.
Who's that guy? Who's Bruce McNall?
Didn't he own the Oilers?
He was a thoroughbred racing owner, sports executive, and convicted felon. Ooh.
Can't make an omelet breaking some eggs, Pat.
He owned the LA Kings at one point too.
There you go. So
Steve Nash?
What's the timeline there? You bring Gretzky to the Kings, and then you'd be like, hey, let's get into business together and buy the Argonauts?
Yeah, and
with
Janet
John Candy?
Janet probably gave him some hot betting tips, and then he lost all of his money.
What about Steve
Nash? On the show?
Steve Nash. We have a thing called the Lou Marsh Award every year for it's Canadian Athlete of the Year. It's pretty disingenuous because, frankly, it's as much as I hate hockey, they rarely ever give it to a hockey player, although they're the ones who probably deserve to win it. Like Crosby kind of deserved to win it like every year for 10 years, but he didn't. But Nash was the one who kind of took over from that. But like Joey Votto won it a few times.
That's
and
a good one.
Jacques Villeneuve, when he was winning F1, won it a few times.
Is he the dude from Talladega Nights? No, I'm sorry.
Let's see.
Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby. Yeah, Mike Weir. Mike Weir won it when he won the Masters.
Oh, that might be good to win the Masters, and you get a Canadian Powerball number.
Is golf back? I just got a $10. I got an email from BetMGM for a $10 risk-free golf bet. But is there golf?
Morikawa is 18-1. Do you want to win a lot of money or a little money?
No, I don't do 2-1 odds.
No.
I mean, in golf, there is no one 2-1 in golf. Like Morikawa,
right?
I bet him this week. He's 18-1.
Done. Morikawa 18-1 to win.
You could bet Adam Long, who's 90-1.
How much
money do you want to try to win here?
Well, I got a free $10 bet, so it's not $10 risk-free bet. I'll put Adam Long. I'll do 5 on each. See what happens.
Pat, who's the best combat sports dude from Canada? Like boxer or wrestler or something like that?
Well, Lennox Lewis is the best boxer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And George St. Pierre is the best UFC fighter.
There you go. So you say Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson couldn't beat that dude. You know what I'm saying? Like when they met up, and through the course of their primes, that was the dude I think would really give Mike Tyson the best run for his money.
Lennox Lewis.
Lennox Lewis was awesome, but I mean, he also stopped being Canadian at some point and became British.
Yeah, like Stringer Bell.
Yeah, he did the opposite way. But yeah, like Lewis competed as a Canadian in the Olympics when he won, and then all of a sudden there was another guy too, Greg Rosetsky in tennis. He was Canadian, but then all of a sudden he was just from France.
Oh, the hitman Bret Hart. Look at that.
Yeah, so you got Bret Hart, Chris Jericho.
Oh, Jericho.
Edge and Christian.
Yeah. A lot of good wrestlers from Canada.
And they're all from out west, too. I guess Edge and Christian are from Toronto.
Eric Young.
Who?
Our boy Eric Young.
Eric Young. He's a big-time Canadian.
Oh, yeah. EY is. Yeah. EY's from, Toronto, I think.
He got the rest.
I think he's from out, a little northwest of, Brubaker, Ontario, if that's a thing.
I mean, I don't know, but Did you ever leave the city when you were in Toronto, to go see what's out there?
I wanted to, never had the opportunity. I heard Mississauga was amazing.
I mean, they're all the city just goes. You can drive an hour and a half and not be out of Toronto.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
Sean was going to go to Hamilton once with Shawnee. Didn't happen.
Didn't didn't go to the Hammer.
Well, I'd fly in for 5 days and it would be all work. And then I would just fly out. So the free time that I had was spent going to the St. Lawrence market and buying sausages.
My wife and I used to live right across from that.
Yeah. That little sausage stand was amazing.
Oh man, the St. Lawrence market rules.
I know. Corey, we got to go sometime. We got to do the show from Toronto.
I've always wanted to go to Canada. Always wanted to go. I was supposed to go when the All-Star game was up there a couple years ago.
It was so cold that weekend. It was the coldest.
I'm glad I didn't go.
It was the coldest. I lived in Toronto for 12 years. I guess minus my sabbatical to Jersey, which was but it was the coldest 3 days I can remember was that weekend. It was
that's crazy.
Celsius
when you have the whole world in your city is freezing.
Yeah, you can get around Toronto pretty easily without ever going outdoors though, so that's nice.
The NBA All-Star game the past couple of years has been horrific. Cleveland, not no disrespect to these cities, but the Super Bowl will be in Miami or like Arizona, or you know what I'm saying, or like Los Angeles, and then All-Star weekend to be Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? Chicago. And then this year, Salt Lake City. You know what I mean? Which I've always heard Salt Lake City is a beautiful place, but I ain't never been to Salt Lake City. I don't really see me liking Salt Lake City like that.
Hey, listen,
come on,
as
give
someone
it a
who
chance,
watches
man.
I watched The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. You can get into some trouble in Salt Lake City.
That's on for it. I'm all for that, Dan. I know they had a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's for real?
Oh, yeah. Jen Shaw, who's on the show. She's like getting indicted for scamming people out of money. It's pretty crazy.
We've had an interesting show today.
She is the wife of one of the assistant coaches, the Utah football team, like the college team.
Oh, the Utes.
Yeah, the Utes, which I always thought was what Joe Pesci said. In
Yeah.
Turns out it's a tribe. Who knew?
All right. So Pat, this morning I was talking to one of my dudes who is he's behind the window. He's on the other side of the glass. He's behind the window.
Okay.
So he see when stuff comes in, right? I would tell you who the sharps are hitting this week. See if you agree with it.
Can I guess?
Sure.
All right. So we're talking NFL, right? We're not talking
NFL.
We're not talking college football or anything because I have no idea.
No. He did give out 5 college football plays, but he gave 2 NFL ones. I'm curious about the NFL ones because I know that's your wheelhouse.
I am guessing that the Sharps like the Saints on Monday night. They like
not one of the ones listed, but go ahead.
The Bucks against the Rams.
It's a good guess.
I like the Rams, but
I love the Bucks this week. I bet you the Sharps.
It's like an angry Tom Brady bounce back game kind of thing.
No, the Rams suck.
They do suck.
Like they're really bad.
I think the Rams. I think the Rams will do. I think it's a good thing that the Rams are on the road this week. I think you got to get out that building where every game, everybody in your home stadium is going against you. What happened with the 49ers last week was an embarrassment. That was a 49er game. When the Cowboys came, that was a Cowboy game. So I like the Rams on the road this weekend.
Yeah, but if Cooper Kupp's not going to be 100%, he's going to be like 80%.
No,
if he's not 100%, they have literally no way to score.
They still got Allen Robinson. I mean, I know that sounds like a joke right now. He's a couple times. Maybe he sucks because Cooper Kupp's like blocking his mojo or something.
No, he's bad. It turns out that playing in Chicago wasn't his problem. It turns out that he's just not good.
Yeah.
He made his best.
I will say the two that I would guess that the Sharps are on the most are the Bears and the Chargers.
So the Sharps like the Colts, which I can't do it no more. With the way how helter-skelter they are, turn the ball over in red zone. You never know what Frank Reich is going to do, coaching decision. It's just a lot of helter-skelter. They play the opposite of how a team like Tennessee or the Giants play, how they manage the game and don't make mistakes. The Colts just make mistakes. So I don't know if I can buy that. And the Sharps are going to the Lions this week, getting 3.5 at home.
Yeah, I like the Lions too.
I like the Lions more than I like the Colts.
Yeah, well, the problem, I mean, Jonathan Taylor might not even play now too, but I see is, I know this didn't work out in the Monday night game against Fields, but Fields is he's such an elite runner that usually gives Belichick defense problems. Like Ellinger can run, but he's not elite by any means. Like these are the type of games where the Patriots win 25-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to get behind the Colts. I've done with the Colts, interested to see, like, just because the Sharps is playing it, don't mean the Sharps lose too, you know. You know what I'm saying?
The Sharps, to be considered a Sharp, you win like 58% of the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So don't think like the Sharp are speaking the golden rules. Now the Lions one, it looks like a Sharp spot because you're getting the hook, number one. Sharps bet numbers. And then the Packers are a road favorite. Road favorites have not been very good this year. And then the Lions just lost again last week. So everybody's going to be off them. So the Sharps come in there and eat up the hook against a team in Green Bay who's not playing well. I can see that. I don't have no emotional attachment to the Lions. And they haven't burnt me yet this year. So I can hop on the Lions, but I cannot go back to the Indianapolis Colts. They blew up a 5-team parlay for me last week. Now you say to yourself, well, 5-team parlays don't hit, fantasy executive. But when one was getting that close to hit against the Commanders on your home court, your home field, excuse me, home court, on your home field, you should close the deal. Instead, you let Terry McLaurin walk all over you and Tyler Heineke. I'm done with the Colts.
On DraftKings Sportsbook right now, the Lions are up to 4.
That number's going the opposite direction. So there you go. So you can get a good number on it.
Yeah. I would love I would love the Chargers this week, but I just don't trust the Chargers.
Well, I think it's interesting. That number is sitting 3 even right now. It's painted at 3.
And
I feel like it finishes 3, but I think Herbert off a bye would be my play.
It's 3.5 at DraftKings now.
Oh, so it went up. Okay.
Yeah, I like the Bucks a lot against the Rams. That's up to 3 now too. I bet it at 2.5, and I love the Seahawks at +2. Arizona is terrible.
I was looking at that last night, Pat, and I could not, for the life of me, figure out why the Cardinals were a 2-point favorite in that game. So my guess would be the look-ahead line was probably Arizona like -5, and they probably couldn't come all the way back to making Seattle a favorite. That would be my guess.
I think it's a perception. Like a lot of these lines this week just seem like perception problems. Like people still aren't convinced that the Seahawks are good. And people, now that Hopkins is back, it's like, oh, look at this record with Kyler and Hopkins playing. Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury is a terrible coach. Kyler kind of sucks. Anytime that Kyler is in a competitive game, he just throws it away, throws it to the other team. So, and weirdly enough, the Seahawks defense has been playing a lot better recently too. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Geno doesn't make mistakes.
No, he doesn't. The thing that's interesting about the Seahawks, they and this is why I think Pete Carroll's a good bet for Coach of the Year. Whatever the Seahawks' weakness is, it will improve throughout the course of the year. So, and that goes to the job that Pete Carroll's doing. Pat, are the Vikings going to be in the NFC Championship game?
Oh my God, probably. Like that's another line that I don't understand. I picked the Vikings to cover the 3.5 because it feels like such a trap. But I'm like, I've been doing this all year. I've been betting on the other side of the trap line. Like, oh, give me the Commanders plus 3.5. It's like, they're not good. Minnesota's pretty good, I guess. So 3.5 seems game. Like if this was based on what we've actually witnessed so far this season with teams beating teams, shouldn't this be like Minnesota -6?
No one believes.
No.
And they got TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, but how much is he going to do this week?
Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't. I mean, you throw a guy in the mix there too, who's
underrated about Hawkinson. A lot like Kittle, one of the premier blocking tight ends in football.
That's what a lot of people say. That's what he does best. You talk to like real nuts and bolts NFL scouts, they say that makes him the best tight end in the league, the way that he can block and go out on the route. So he's in the scouting community, he's a very big player, TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, I would say that's why the scouts and like football film grinders always say that Kittle is the best.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Even on Twitter today too?
Oh my God, I was watching the tape. You was watching tape of what? What was you watching tape of? I was watching highlights. Yeah, I was watching tape of Will Levis, and I think he has good anticipation.
All right, I want to leave you with this before I go. All right,
look at Pat making his own segue, his own exit.
New York sports fans need to be just stop being delusional. Like you got to get over it. Like the Yankees were your best chance; they didn't win. But they were good. The Mets, fool's gold. We know this every single year. The Jets are terrible. The Giants are frauds. And the amount of nonsense I saw about the Knicks after starting 3-1 when they beat the 3 worst teams in the league was just out of this world craziness about, oh my God, the Knicks, we need to do this. We need to get prepared. Calm down. They're not good.
The Knicks need to get prepared to be in the hopefully make the play-in tournament. But this is what I'll say, right? Tonight, full night. We can run the board later, Nando. Full slate in the NBA tonight. Atlanta is in New York. The Knicks will beat the Hawks tonight.
The Hawks just got blown out by the Raptors.
There you go. This is the Hawks' 4th straight road game.
Is that a good matchup or a bad matchup for that? I feel like Trey in the Garden just goes nuts, doesn't he?
But I agree. But the Knicks are the favorite. The Hawks are a trendy underdog, but the line is not moving. So that line freeze says that, okay, somebody is betting the Knicks. And then when a team gets that deep into a road trip, they'll auto fade for me. Atlanta was an auto fade last night. They'll auto fade tonight. I think the Knicks win a close game. Young is going to be ready to play tonight. Young is the new John Rocker. He's the new New York sports villain. You know what I'm saying? And he likes to be. He relishes in that role. But the Knicks will get him tonight.
All right.
Cool.
We'll see.
Oh,
I'll do that.
Raptors are favored by 7.5. Hopefully they're not like all the other teams in the East and just lose to the Spurs for no reason.
On the road to the Spurs tonight, that looks like a tough spot for the Raptors. But it's if Fred VanVleet plays, then they can win.
Yeah, well, they played without him against Atlanta. They didn't even play. They didn't even have a point guard.
Yeah, they rolled the folks last night too.
They were just like, "Now, Siakam, you play a bit of point. Barnes, you play a bit of point." And it worked.
There you go. Shout out to the Toronto Raptors. They got it done last night. I love to watch Raptors on League Pass. They have a very good in-game experience.
Are they
Kyle
good?
Lowry made our Powerball ticket.
And Kyle Lowry made our Powerball.
We only have 4 numbers. Do we need to get? I mean, Terry Fox is like one of the most historic Canadians ever. What year was that? Terry.
Well, we
Fox?
got 7. Well, technically we got 7, depending on what we have. Like we got 6, which is for Lemieux.
We got
9 for Gretzky.
6, 7, 9, and 32 is all we got right now.
We got Kyle Lowry. Oh, we got Steve Nash. 13.
We got Steve Nash. I got 13. I had 15 for Vince Carter because Corey said Vince Carter. And I got 25 dangling at the end. I don't know. I didn't put a name next to it. I just wrote 25.
Is that Joe Carter? Or was that Roy Halladay? No, 32 is Roy Halladay.
32 is Halladay.
Oh, Roy Halladay is 32.
So I don't even know who's
here. Like, do we need like is Halladay's American?
But
played for the Blue Jays.
You look at him as one of your own, though, right?
We do, but he's not. Like Larry Walker is the best Canadian baseball player ever.
What was Larry Walker? Was he 25?
No.
Oh, 25 was Raghib Ismail. My bad.
No,
that was
the
me being rogue. That was me being rogue. I'll just put that down there anyway. Raghib. All right, we can put anyone else you want on before you go, Pat.
Yeah, well, let's go with Larry Walker. He was number 33.
There you go, Larry Walker. Welcome to the All Canada Powerball team.
Welcome.
So now people that can't play the game, you got some numbers you can play.
Well, you'd be better off getting me to cash your tickets for you, by the way.
Of course.
We'll just find a way to embezzle $1.2 million across the board, $1 billion across the board.
Well, it's not that. It's like if I go and play Powerball, like I'm legally allowed to go buy a ticket. I go buy a ticket to Powerball at the bodega or whatever, and if I win, I don't have to pay taxes on it.
That's very true. That's very true. You got to get Pat to go collect your winnings.
Yeah.
So there you go. It was something I wanted to say, but before Pat left, now it just skipped my mind just that quick. But Pat, we still trying to do next Tuesday, right? Election day. So we may be hitting you up for some advice to stay in the clear and still do a good political show.
Good luck.
There you go. Maybe we shouldn't do it, Nando, because I don't want them DMs.
Have you guys looked? I haven't looked at the odds for it yet. Let's see, where are we at here? Politics, U.S. presidential, U.S. Senate to win the state. Alabama Republicans just absolutely crushing. Is that Herschel Walker?
No,
he's Georgia.
Was that Georgia?
Walker's in Georgia Bulldogs.
He's favored though. He's minus 160 right now.
Herschel Walker's minus 160.
Yeah.
What's Dr. Oz? What's Pennsylvania? That's got to be even.
Dr. Oz is minus 200.
What? No.
I'm looking at it right now.
All right. He's 5 points ahead in the polls.
Yeah, that's making him a 2-1 favorite.
No, the other guy's 2-1 ahead in the polls.
Oh, Fetterman? Kyle Federline?
Well, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, what's Nevada? Nevada's the other close one. The Republicans are minus 330 right now. There's some really
all right. Someone making the odds seems to think the Republicans are going to win all these.
Not in Colorado, where the Democrats are minus 2,000 favorites.
That's a big favorite right there. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's one of the toss-ups.
Yeah, Alabama and Arkansas really sway towards the Republicans.
Really?
Minus 50,000 in Arkansas.
Wow.
Well, hey, Clinton was the governor of Arkansas, a 2-term governor. I mean, like he came out of there. He's, I'm sure there are pockets of blue.
Yeah, Pennsylvania is the toss-up. Yeah, I mean, the one with the lowest odds is the Herschel Walker one. That's minus 163 to plus 110.
I think that's the one that we probably gonna be sweating the most. I mean, if you're betting on it, you know what I'm saying?
Can you
That's
parlay?
gonna be the sweat of the night.
No.
I don't think you can parlay them joints because you can really rack them up if you parlay them. You know?
Man. Yeah.
You can I remember Proline at the convenience store, Nando?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
You in the Trump second election against in both elections, actually, both Trump elections, you could play like state by state parlays on that.
Oh, that would have been fun. Like Proline, I remember having terrible odds.
Yeah, not good.
Right, but it's all we had.
But it's good if that's all you got. You know what I'm saying?
But it wasn't all you had. Like we had every site.
Oh well, you got offshore. Yeah,
right. That's a good point. It was. I mean, you go to the grocery store and you fill out like a lottery ticket. You'd fill in the things, you'd run it through the machine, and it'd be like, "Here's my betting ticket for the day." It's pretty cool.
I know dudes like Gabe and Cam. They talk horribly about Proline. They still go to a guy. They don't fool with Proline.
Yeah.
They also buy those like prepaid credit cards from the drugstore to get money online because they can't have credit cards.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they got some. Yeah, they've been put out a couple of joints. They go, yo. I've heard some Cam and Gabe stories go hard. I was with Cam after the Super Bowl one year. It was the year when the Patriots beat the Rams in the most boring Super Bowl ever. Yes. And I felt like I was worried about Cam that night, bro. Shout out to my man Cam.
Cam on.
Since this is a Mayo Media Network show that I'm on right now, tune into Mayo Media Network tomorrow with myself and Cam Stewart making the best bets for the NFL for the week. So there we go.
There you go.
Oh man, I love
Check
Cam.
that out tomorrow.
I miss
Mayo
Cam.
Media. Yeah, shout out
he was the best. What a good guy to hang out with in person.
The best.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The best.
Yeah. All right. Pat, do you have to go or you want to hang out more, man? You're the one who said you had
to
leave.
I have to go now.
All right, fine.
All right, Pat, we'll holler at you.
All right. See you later, guys.
Later.
Bye, Pat. That's Pat Mayo, the PME on Twitter of Mayo Media Network. Before we take a quick break, we'll come back and work and grind. We're going to answer your question about where to figure out card values now. We'll get to Corey's rundown of the NBA slate. But first, we've been talking about the prizes every week from getthegame.com. Today's is not a handshake Hall of Famer. Close. Shaquille O'Neal autographed Hall of Fame basketball. Just go to our Twitter, retweet the pin tweet. You got to follow it's Better Network, but Better Sports Network. And that's it, man. Like at 9:00, Rick Hamlin's going to pick a winner. The end. So Shaquille O'Neal autographed authentic basketball, Hall of Fame basketball. Rick Hamill will pick the winner at 9 p.m. No need to Eastern time. No need to call in. Just go to Twitter, kaboom the retweet, follow Better Network, and possibly win a basketball. So good luck and Godspeed. We take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
Corey Nando and Friends, presented by Mayo Media.
Co-founder of Jock Market. Dave, what's up, man?
Hey, guys. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
How you doing?
Thank you for sponsoring the show on the network and everything, man. We much appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have one of your, I don't know what you should call him, not a sycophant, really. Maybe a disciple, maybe I don't know, John Legeza on once in a while. And he is like,
he's on it,
like all in caps, Jock Market, and like his enthusiasm for it. I mean, look, like I remember we had Jock Market sponsor one of the athletic shows a while ago too, so I was familiar with the game. But he is like, man, the proselytizer big time of your game.
Yeah, right from the jump. The second we first started talking to him, it was very clear it was a match. He got the game. It was like right, he's a big stock guy too, so the crossover between that and him making picks every day, it's really like a match, perfect match for us.
That's cool. That's what's up. Me and Nando, we've talked to. I mean, we've been doing shows for a long time. And I remember back in the day interviewing Nigel and Jason Robbins and all of that stuff. And one of the interesting things when we talked to Nigel was hearing about the story of FanDuel and how it kind of came about at South by Southwest. How did Jock Market come about? Where did the thought process come from? Like, what were you into at the time? What were you looking to do? How did Jock Market become to be the app that's on our phones today?
Yeah, no, great question. So, working with my co-founder Tyler at our previous company, we played a lot of DraftKings and FanDuel on our own, and Obviously, we liked it. We love playing, but figured there were other ways out there. Other ways to play. That'd be more interesting. And we've also both been interested in investing for a long time, and it was kind of crazy that the stock market and sports concept hadn't really been. I mean, it'd been people had tried it before, but that it hadn't really worked. And then the daily fantasy spin really showed us an opportunity to make it work, where you can have an intrinsic value for those shares. So you have people coming and buying in shares, but if it's a perpetual market, the shares never pay out. It's kind of hard to figure out what they'll be worth. But in a daily market, you buy those shares, in the afternoon. By that evening, for the most part, they're going to pay out real cash. So you have an intrinsic value. I think this is going to be worth X dollars by the end of the night. So now I have a number I can come and pay for it. So that's really where we saw the opportunity. It's just a matter of making the game work within fantasy sports regulations and making it fun and interesting and giving people the opportunity to make money by playing.
Join the show with one touch of a button. It's Sports Talk 3.0 on Bettor Sports Network.
Welcome back, everybody. Bettor Sports Network, Corey Nando and friends hanging out. In the break, I got a text from my sister-in-law.
She talking about?
Oh, she got a fantasy team, right? And like she's good. She won it last year. And I think finished second the year before, maybe. But like it's like these dudes in her league never like learn. You know what I mean? Like not that like she's she's getting help, but like that she knows what she's doing, and they keep offering her these terrible trades, and she sends them to me, and she's like, "How should I respond?" I'm like, don't respond to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone's trying to get Travis Etienne from her for CeeDee Lamb.
Good, nice try.
They'd be like, look at that! Look at the points. They have the same amount of points. I'm like, come on, man. Like, come on. And she even knows it. But she's like, I just wanted to run this by you anyway. And I got a woman I work with who got I got to find this offer that she got yesterday that would make you like, it's just like people think these girls playing are so dumb, and it's, they're not. Stop trying to take advantage of people if you think they don't know what they're doing, because they will come back on you with I've got the dates circled on the calendar when she's playing. I'm like, when is she playing this guy? And we're going to remember that, and we're going to destroy this person. Like, we're actually going to go into her team, go through every matchup, like with like better than I even do my own teams. Yeah. We don't want to crush this person. But I can't find it right now. I got too many slacks going on at the same time.
I took that off my phone.
Oh, man. Tell me about the freedom. What does that feel
my
like?
Goodness.
Well, here you go. Here's the trade that was proposed.
You had to be attached to that thing all day. And then I wore so many hats at SI. You know what I'm saying? That every time something happened, oh man, good time. Whew. Being at SI in the summer of 2020, amazing.
Good times.
Amazing.
She would give up Saquon Barkley and Alan Lazard. She would receive Donta Foreman, Chuba Hubbard, George Pickens, and then of course $45 of fab money.
Anytime you got to throw fab money in the deal, let me tell you something. The deal ain't worth nothing.
That's what I said.
Anytime you throw in fab money in the deal, you trying to sweeten the deal as much as you can. What is $45 in fab going to get you?
Yeah, thank you. Okay, now it is week 9.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. You keep that $45 in fab, and I'll keep my Saquon Barkley.
God, it's just like, I don't know, man. It bothers me. I'm going to do like, if you are a female and you want a fantasy advisor and you need a fantasy advisor, just let me know. I'll do it for free. Send me everything.
I won't.
Like it's
$99 a team.
Fine. I'll do it for free.
There you go.
It's very
a better deal. You come my way, you paying for it.
It's got to stop. So working grind. He asked us yesterday too. Where do I look and figure out card values now? And I think he said as we're projected out. Look, 130point.com is my favorite site for any of this, because you got to scroll through and see like where the prices are going and how up and down they're going and stuff like that. But it's like, it is a wonderful chronicler. Like, I've donated money through PayPal to that guy because the site's so good. Just threw him $20 to feel like, thanks, man.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that good of a site. I don't want it to go away. There's an app called Card Ladder that you can see, you can track a little bit, and it'll show you it makes a graph. So it might be easier to see where it's going to be projected out. But I wouldn't even worry about projecting out cards. Yeah. I would just look at where they are now and where they were before. So like, Like again with my Willie Mays stuff, like this Willie Mays card that I wanted, like say an SGC5, they're selling for like 130 buy it now, 155 buy it now. But you go back and you see like over the last 3 months they've sold for 80, 70, 150 plus shipping, 92. And you're like,
so
all
much
right,
of it is timing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, dude. I got this last Willie Mays card for like $66, and one that was a half grade below it sold for 100 something.
You see,
like 10 days before.
It's timing. A lot of it is timing. Like the stuff I just put on sale. No, none of the Tyrese Maxey didn't get one bid. Really? And I'm like, this is weird. So now I throw it in with the stuff that's going to go get graded. So, that's cool with me.
You just bump it back?
Past weekend, whatever. I'm out because then it'll run back a million times. Whatever. This past weekend, our boy was doing color for State versus Morgan. South Carolina State versus Morgan. Emory, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I know Emory does the color stuff, right? So I'm watching the State game, right? And I'm like, this voice sounds familiar. And I'm like, that's my man E. So shout out to Emory Hunt. You know what I'm saying? He's doing that. Like when they have like the ESPN Plus games, whatever, they show the broadcasters once.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the game. And that's the only time you see the broadcasters.
That's good. I never thought about that.
Yeah. Just like but last night on the MAC game, they showed the broadcasters in the beginning of the game and they showed them at halftime also. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I want E to be on TV at halftime too.
How do we start that change.org petition?
I don't know.
Put Emory Hunt on at halftime.
I don't know. We got to figure out a way to figure out who does that, who does the programming for those ESPN Plus games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So shout out to E. I saw him this weekend, and that was cool to see Emory doing his color analyst thing.
We should also shout out our good friend Maria Marino, who has a post up on Instagram saying tomorrow's the day she gets hitched. So
shout out to Maria Marino.
Good luck to Maria Marino. None of us were invited, but good luck anyway.
Her and that young man getting ready to tie the knot. So shout out to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Corey, want to go through the NBA real quick? Actually, let me ask you a quick.
No, before we get to the NBA, I do want to do a little bit of college football. Go ahead.
So quick question. But you brought it up the way you see Emory on TV. Like, I know him. When I'm driving around, sometimes I got Sirius on still, and I hear like Ronas, and I'm like, I gotta call in and mess with him.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that? I've done it once when Funston and Evans had the show midday. I just called in, this is Jeff. But yeah, I like doing that. I think it's fun, but I don't want it to seem like I'm some self-aggrandizing prick who's calling.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's because obviously being in this business for the time that we've been in this business, a lot of times you've been looking at something or looking at a program and be like, hey, I know that person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? Or that's this asshole. You know what I'm saying? That happens too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't stand this guy. You know what I mean? But when you be around, you've been around, when you've been blessed to be around for a good amount of time, you know what I'm saying? You run into some people that you're cool with, and that's pretty good. Yeah,
because I feel like at this show, like if I don't know, Dane just randomly called in, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty funny. Or Benny.
What up, Dane?
One of those guys just decided to call in randomly. I think it would be fun.
We got to get Spitting Speeds right too, because he's family.
Yes.
Right? So we got to make sure that he gets right. So shout out to my man Spitting Speeds. Tennessee college football playoff. Tennessee, Ohio State, Georgia, and Clemson are the 4 teams that are in the first college football playoff ranking. They do 6 of these rankings. The last one to come out in the early first week of December, and then that'll be your 4 teams in the college football playoff. So we already start this thing off 9-0. This is why I tell you, ESPN and the powers that be, this is not a coincidence. It's so brilliant that they announce the final, the college football playoff teams, and then 2 of them play this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you know? Tennessee and Georgia play this, man. What a coincidence.
On our channel?
What, for real?
Hey, Mr. Media Reporter, did we ever get the numbers on the ESPN Plus live stream? Like, did that do anything? Did that do any of the Monday night game that no one could find, no one to watch?
No, I never. I didn't.
I wonder if those did. All right, sorry. Continue. I'll look it up while you're. I gotta see because I wonder, because a lot of people complained about that.
Tennessee and Georgia play this week. Tennessee victory will be massive, but more or less, punch them a ticket just about to the SEC championship game, and cement them into the college football playoff. A Georgia win should really, set Georgia up to go back, whatever. And then Tennessee still has the big win versus Alabama and at least one more big game coming up. But this is a big one right here. Obviously, Ohio State and Michigan's the big one down there. Clemson is pretty much wrapped up. And you got Alabama now. Now, remember when I know we was talking about teams to possibly sneak in? I will look at Ole Miss as a team that could possibly sneak in.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Alabama plays Ole Miss next week, right? But Alabama plays LSU this week. Then they got to go to Ole Miss the week after. I think Ole Miss is on a bye this week. So Ole Miss is going to catch an Alabama team on the road for a second straight week.
Gotcha.
If Ole Miss can win that game, Ole Miss can find themselves in the SEC championship game. So Ole Miss to win the SEC, even if they play it against Tennessee or Georgia, you'll have good hedge equity. You know what I'm saying? So I would put a little something on Ole Miss to win the SEC, because if they win that game next week, they'll probably play Tennessee or Georgia in the SEC championship. Now, there'll be probably a double-digit favorite. Will it be a double-digit favorite versus Georgia? Maybe not so much against Tennessee, depending on how that game plays out.
Yep.
But I would look at that. I would look at Ole Miss as a team that can give you hedge equity, mainly because they catch Alabama on the back end of a tough 2-game road trip.
That's a very clever look ahead, man.
Yeah. So that's the way I would do that right there. I wanted to share that with the Corey Nando and Friends audience. We can sweat that together. All right. So yeah, we got to come in. As far as the league tonight, I've done some stuff. I got up this morning and did some stuff. And then Kennedy called me. I got to call Kennedy because somebody stole her Chromebook from her book bag. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah. Somebody stole her Chromebook. And then she went to the administrators, right?
Yeah.
And the administrator's like, well, maybe you misplaced it. And she was like, yo, I did not misplace it. Somebody took it. I'm not crazy. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So I'm like, Kenny, you can't talk to them people at that school like that. You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying? But I don't really like that school like that, to be honest with you. You know what school Kennedy goes to? Well, I probably shouldn't share that on here.
Oh, yeah, you're sharing a lot of personal stuff on air today.
It's not a popular, it's a school that's known for something. I'll tell you off air.
All right.
I run the NBA board. Philadelphia and Washington. Washington stinks. Philadelphia's on a winning streak right now. No Joel Embiid for Philadelphia tonight. So it's no way that you can lay numbers with Philadelphia, but no Joel Embiid. Probably be a stay away from me. Big time matchup in Cleveland tonight. The Celtics and the Cavaliers could be a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals, Nando. 5-1 Cavaliers, 4-2 Celtics. Celtics opened up a 2-point favorite. That now number is down to 1.5. Money coming in on the Cavaliers. Cleveland beat Boston last week. This is something about NBA betting. Revenge spots are real in the NBA.
Okay.
Boston's going to return the favor tonight and beat Cleveland tonight. So I like Boston on the road tonight. Money line Boston. Sacramento and Miami. I love Sacramento in this spot. The number is moving in Sacramento direction. But be careful. Miami stinks, right? But Sacramento's a young team. And they're a young team that was in South Beach last night. So they could have the South Beach flu. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
I worry about the South. I like Sacramento. That would be my lean. But they could have the South Beach flu.
How does this continue to happen? Like, how does this keep happening?
What?
The South Beach flu.
Well, you get young male millionaires,
right?
And you put them in Miami.
I understand that part, but I mean, like, how, like go in the off season, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like there's so many other opportunities you have to do this. Why would you do this the night before your game?
Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? You would think they would look at it as a business trip,
yeah.
But that's not how it is. With like the Warriors is a business trip when they go down to South Beach. Right. A team like the Celtics is a business trip.
Right.
Right. A team like the Clippers, business trip. The Lakers, a business trip. The Bucks, a business trip. But the Sacramento Kings, it's a road trip. You know what I'm saying? It's a boys' weekend. You know what I mean? So I think Sacramento ATS is the way to go. I worry about the South Beach flu from that young team. Atlanta, Miami, love this spot for the Knicks tonight. And you know I don't like betting the Knicks, but I would take the Knicks on the money line, Atlanta on the back end of a long road trip. Charlotte and Chicago, I don't have no lean on this game. I can't watch. Did I tell you about this now? No, I can't watch Charlotte Hornet games.
No, you didn't mention that.
Huh?
Why?
Because I'm blacked out, right?
Oh, I thought you
Because
meant like they're
saying,
boring. I thought you meant like this is a terrible team.
No,
I can't watch
they
this
say
thing.
that the game is on. I can never find the game, though.
That's weird.
Yeah, they're like, okay, the game is on locally, so I can't watch it on League Pass. But I can never find the game locally, right? Now, my pops has Spectrum, so I really can go to the Bally Sports app because Charlotte play on Bally Sports, but he don't know the password. He can't remember the password, so
It's very relatable.
I can't. I know it very well.
Yeah. Oh, no way.
So no lean for me. Bulls did play last night, tough game, and so they on back to back, second leg of a back to back. Maybe you want to take a look at that. Clippers and Rockets, no play for me. Detroit and Milwaukee, no play. Toronto and San Antonio. I would take the 7.5 with San Antonio.
All right.
San Antonio
After all that
Spurs.
good stuff we just said about Toronto.
Let me make sure there's no injuries because I like I said, I'm not keeping out. Like I said, I had Kennedy and I had some other stuff to do. I actually did go do some early voting today, Nando. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, congratulations. Did you go for our guy?
I had to go for the
legalize
sports
everything?
betting. Yeah, I had to go for the sports betting. I don't even know the rest of his platform. You know what I'm saying? But you want to illegalize sports betting, you'll get my. You ain't gonna win, but you got my vote because that's important to me. NBA. Let's see. Spurs, Raptors. Fred VanVleet is questionable. Keldon Johnson out for San Antonio. Don't play San
He's
Antonio.
the guy. He's the
Don't
guy.
play San Antonio. So
All right.
we got. Don't do that. Utah and Dallas. I'd put Dallas money line in the parlay. I wouldn't trust Dallas later 6. Memphis and Portland. This is going to be a good one tonight in Portland. Tough road spot for Memphis, but Memphis was in Utah the entire weekend. So, like, they played twice. They played Friday night and they played Sunday. Traveled yesterday, but they spent the whole weekend in one city. So this is not really like the fourth game of a 4-game road trip. It's more like the second game. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Right. They were moving around a lot.
They had 2 days off while they were in Utah.
All right.
And they traveled yesterday, so they're fresh. This is going to be a close game. I would take the 4.5 with Portland, but I think Memphis wins the game. This is a one-possession game. I got Memphis because Morant is playing and Lillard is not. And then the late night, you got the Lakers and the Pelicans. I'll take the Pelicans on the money line. And that's how I do the NBA tonight.
Go ahead.
Maction, I like Central Michigan.
Good. Done.
There
That's
you
all
go.
we needed. We got to get out of here. Good luck, everyone, if you're playing Powerball tonight. We gave you the numbers. We don't have enough time to read them all off, unfortunately. But just know that we're there with you.
No doubt.
And I guess if 4 or 5 people all play the numbers that we gave out, we're all screwed.
Good luck.
We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.